Let's talk boxing.
Yep.
Let's talk about the big subject right now, which is Tyson Fury, OLEKSANDR USYK. Do you think it's going to happen? First and foremost, straight off the bat.
Right now, no. I lean more towards no.
Jesus.
And I remember when you did your video with G-Man in the studio, and at the start of the year, it just felt like it was going to happen.
Yeah.
And especially when you look at, I'd always say, I think there's 4 fights in boxing for me right now that just stand out as they have to happen, regardless of the size of them. They have to happen. You've got Usyk Fury as undisputed at heavyweight, Beterbiev Bivol light heavyweight undisputed, Spence Crawford undisputed at welterweight, and then also Fulton and Inoue for me as well. I know some people put the lightweights in there, but there's not really a 1 and 2 there right now. There's still some fights to be had. And coming into this year, I had no real hope for Beterbiev Bivol. As a fan, I want it, but not going to get Spence Crawford. We've been sitting around long enough, me and you, talking about it. Usyk Fury actually felt like it was going to happen.
Of all of those, it felt like the one.
Yeah, the one that was going to happen. And the governing bodies at first spoke about calling mandatories, Hrgovic and then Dubois, and then they got out of the way. So it felt like, this is the reason they're getting out of the way is because the promoters are doing something. And now you're just in a place where, like, it's supposed to be the end of April. It's coming around fast. What happens then? So, I'm not very optimistic.
I just find it all crazy. I mean, they teased us, right? Tyson Fury beat Derek Chisora. Usyk stepped on the apron, went nose to nose, face to face. And I was like, oh, here we go. Here we go. Because, again, like I've watched Usyk up close twice now. And as good as Fury is, and Fury's very, very good. I'm never going to say he isn't. Yeah. Usyk's a problem. Yeah. And I thought, okay, here, this is going to be it. The very good big man against a very, very good smaller man. And... look, I get it. I've always said in my videos, get what you're worth. If there's money out there and you can get it, because most time, unfortunately, with these boxers, when the careers are done, they're broke. Yeah. So I can get everything that's on the table. But surely it gets to a point when, I mean, if someone's offering you 20 million, 30, just take that. Like, how much money do you want? Especially, and I'm going to dig out Fury here, because Fury's the one that always continually talks about, it's not all about the money. I'll give all my money to charity and I'll fight you for free. And I'm like, well, do what you say you're going to do, dude. Yeah.
And, he kind of has said about Usyk, he's a middleweight, he's a doctor, all those type of things. But the track history's there of him also saying, not really keen on fighting smaller South, like, he said about struggling with Cunningham as well. The history is there of him saying those things as well. So we know he doesn't particularly love the matchup, Fury. Yeah. Now with all this on top of it, and like you say, I think I heard Adam Cattrall talk about it the other day, that when that Joshua and Fury fight was kind of lined up for Saudi, there were such astronomical numbers. I think Fury thought, well, one day I'll go back to Saudi and I'll get that money. And it wasn't quite there, and now he's still trying to fight for it. But like you said, what's the difference between 40, 50 million and 75 million when you've already been earning 20s and 30s for your last few fights anyway? So
yeah, it's interesting because there's so many gaps to fill, but the ones that I guess we can fill in right now is that we know the Saudis offered them both separate site fees, right? So Usyk got his fee and he accepted it. I'll take that. Fury got his and he was like, well, I want a bit more. Yeah. And that's pretty much why the Saudis said, 1 second, no. We're not offering you anymore. That's it. So it's gone to Wembley. And I can understand how Fury's so used now in the last 3 or 4 fights to be getting paid astronomical fees, right? He's getting paid ridiculous. The Wilder stuff, the lion's share of White, the lion's share of Chisora. And he's probably used to that number. And this fight, maybe it's like, well, 1 second, Usyk wants a bit more than you gave White and Chisora. And he deserves a bit more. This guy's got 3 belts. He's the pound for pound number 1 in my eyes. Yeah. So I don't understand how... I don't know how this resolves itself. I don't know if it's a case of Usyk even maybe saying, okay, maybe I'll take a bit less because I want undisputed. So maybe that might have to happen. Because ultimately, I don't know who else they can fight and generate that kind of money.
Exactly.
I'm not quite sure.
And, Fury, whenever it's been negotiations in the past, is the first to jump on Insta and record himself and call out whoever.
This time,
hasn't said a thing about Usyk. So I don't know what it will take for him to make it. And I think the thing that kind of gets lost in all of it is actually us as fans not getting to see undisputed at heavyweight, first of the 4-belt era. It's not happening in a long time. And it's a good technical, it's a really good fight to watch.
Incredible fight.
And we don't get to sit down and have our breakdowns and have our conversations if this fight doesn't happen. So I think a lot of people...
They forgot about the fans, haven't they?
Exactly.
And again, and people might say this is an anti-Fury video. It isn't. Yeah. But the only reason I continue to go to him is because, look, he's our champion, right? He's a British champion. And it's because he always talks about doing things for the fans. He's that guy, right? He calls himself the people's champion. Yeah. Prove it. Yeah. Give it to us. Like, he will say, when this is all said and done, and if it does happen, he'll say, I wanted to fight for you fans at Wembley, so they didn't, you asked for more money in Saudi and you didn't get it. That's why the fight's even in Wembley Stadium. So look, hopefully Fury does maybe lessen his purse request and we get the fight to happen. If it were to happen, who do you think wins?
I've always slightly favoured Fury.
Okay.
And that hurts me because I do see her as a bit of a Usyk fanboy.
I'm about to say that. I've watched a lot of your videos on it.
Yeah, and I mean, that's another thing, just quickly, is we might not get this fight, but also that probably means they'll have to start a new set of negotiations with a different opponent. Yeah. That fight then rolls into the summer.
If we're lucky.
That's 5 years in a row that Usyk would have fought once in a year. 2018, he was the fighter of the year. Three fights, Bradis, Gassiev, Bellew. Incredible run. He's fought once a year since then. By the time this could eventually happen, or maybe Usyk goes into a dangerous fight with an up-and-comer in a year or so, it's not the same fighter. Fury doesn't look like he's necessarily improving. He's changed his style, but physically he doesn't look quite as sharp.
He has to have changed his style as well. He's not done it because he wanted to do it.
We're not getting the best versions of them. Yeah. But in terms of the actual fight itself, I just kind of stepping away from the technicalities of it. Watching that Joshua fight and seeing that the judges felt it was competitive enough to give Joshua a number of rounds, where for me I thought Usyk won it pretty convincingly both times. I just think Fury's pretty good at not making his opponents look good. And I think the thing that AJ does is sometimes he lets his opponents look good against him, and I don't think...
You see the head go back.
And whereas Fury is good, especially with the sides and stuff, he knows how to use it brilliantly. Inside as well, he's brilliant at just tying you up and making things a little bit negative. So I just don't see Usyk necessarily winning clear rounds against Fury like he did against Joshua. And if a fight goes close, I think Fury probably gets the edge in it.
Yeah, I'm a massive Usyk fan, huge Usyk fan. I mean, look, if you were to become double undisputed, you're talking about one of the best of all time, and there's an argument for it.
Have you spent much time around Usyk at all?
Yeah.
He's a great character.
He's fantastic, and he's big.
Yeah.
You know, people maybe because these other heavyweights are like giants.
You read 6'3" and just think, for a heavyweight, that's small, but in terms of the general person,
you're a big guy, and he's quite thick as well, you know what I mean? And I think what he's brought in terms of character, especially for someone that speaks limited English, you feel like he is speaking English because he's been able to do it in other ways. It's quite weird. But I've gone against Fury 3 times. I've gone against him in the Klitschko fight and both Wilder fights. The first one, and I thought, okay, Wilder's going to get him the second time round. Yeah. I'm never picking against him ever again in my life because he just finds a way. Yeah. He's, for someone that is 19 stone, 20 stone, the way he moves around the ring, he never, ever looks like he's blowing. Honestly, I've never seen him look like his gas tank's going to run empty.
It's because it's natural weight.
That's
he
what
just
it is.
Carries that.
That's exactly what it is. It's not extra muscle. It's not lactic acid. He's got that tire around his belly, and it's just him.
Yeah,
it is him. But look, it will be disappointing if it doesn't work out because I don't know where either go. I don't know if Fury does the Ngannou route. I don't know if I'm very interested in Hrgovic, Usyk, or Joyce Usyk. They don't get me excited.
Yeah.
This does.
Especially when you know you could have had this.
Yeah.
Like, when it's there dangled in front of you. Like, if it was a different scenario, Fury had something going on, Usyk had something going on, and then they took different routes.
Then fair.
You can build it up. But when you know it should be them two in the ring, and they're in the ring against guys that you know they're better than.
Yeah, much better than as well.
It just doesn't, like you say, much better as well.
It's a big shame. I was going to say, if we don't get the undisputed, is it a bigger problem for boxing that we are so close to so many undisputed? You just mentioned a few there, and we don't get it. Is that a wider problem with the sport, or is it just a case of it is what it is, negotiating these big fights?
The thing is, whilst I have the criticisms of the sport, one of the things about Saudi, I know it comes into criticism, sport going over there, golf, boxing, etc. The one thing it is good for us as fans is they can simply pay the fighters what they want to go out and fight there. Yeah. And Fury wasn't happy with what was being paid to him. So for me, that kind of stands out as the bigger issue here.
Is he ducking Usyk?
I don't think he fancies it.
It's true.
I don't think he's scared. I don't think he's scared to fight him. But he doesn't
fancy it the way he pretends he does.
Yeah.
Well, you're just a blown up middleweight.
Yeah.
Well, go on then, bash him up. You're the biggest fight we've ever seen. Like,
exactly.
Bash him up then.
Yeah.
It is a big shame. Quick one on this. This is the last one on this subject. I saw someone tweet the other day about boxing. I can't remember who it was, Rob Boxing UK or something, a Twitter page. And he tweeted about British boxing being in the mud.
Yeah.
1 to 10, with 10 being it's excellent. Where would you score British boxing right now?
Probably straight down the middle, or 5, something like that. Yeah. For me, the thing that's really suffered is, and I think over the last sort of 12 to 18 months, we've had pretty good main events. We've had some big fights. The issue for me, though, is because of Boxer and Sky making a play, and Frank's had a real resurgence as well, is the talent's being spread thinner now. So the undercards are getting thinner. That's the thing for me. There's not a lot of shows I watch now and think, I'll tune in from 7 o'clock. I end up doing it because I'm bored, and you fight fans, you do. But there's not as many deep undercards nowadays. And a lot of them as well with Hearn is he'll go, I'll take you out to the States, give you some opportunities out there. We're going to fight in this country this week, Mexico, you go fight over there. So the talent's being spread a little bit thinner. And as a Saturday night fight night here in the UK, I think we do have a real issue there with the talent just being spread a little bit thin.
It's so poor. There's too many broadcasters.
Yeah.
There's just too many. Like, we are such a tiny island of not that many fighters. I mean, everyone just plays football over here.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, we've got a finite amount of fighters that are spread over 4 broadcasters and of small hall shows as well, so more than that. And it's just like, we don't have enough talent for that. It's that simple. Unless you're going to get all the Americans and Mexicans over here and some of the Eastern Europeans, fair, but we don't like, I don't think DAZN envisaged Boxer. I don't think they thought, okay, it's going to be a real competitor. They didn't think that all of a sudden it looks like Boaxi's now over there. I see him doing a few Sky differences. Like, how are they taking all these fighters?
There's probably a few names that Hearn thought, okay, they'll come into this, but they won't take a Coley. They won't take, and they've taken him right out of his lap. And
crazy.
There's a lot of fighters as well that seem to almost hint at going to Sky now. It's almost like one fight left, and then I'm moving on, sort of.
Yeah, I remember when I said this the other day, and someone actually messaged me saying, don't say it, I'm going to say it again, I don't care. Remember when DAZN got excited about signing Dalton Smith? Like, there was a proper announcement. Like, we signed him to a free fight deal.
We kept him.
Yeah, and I'm like, British, like, that should be standard. Like, why are we celebrating signing a British champion? Like, what's going on with the world champions?
It does worry me that as well with the Olympics, with that not continuing as well, you're not going to get a higher standard or A-class amateurs necessarily. You'll get ones that still go to the World Championships and big tournaments, but they won't have that name that, seeing them in the BBC or whatever, an ITV, or maybe featuring
on the... It's going to take so long to build them up now.
Yeah, and you will just be signing fighters and not really knowing actually how good they are, but they were on GB, they're on the podium squad or whatever. So the talent looks like it's spreading a little bit thinner across the main broadcasters. Yeah,
tough times for British boxing. Guys, as I said, make sure you subscribe to this man's channel. Link is in the description below. Really great content. Honestly, when I say the knowledge of the sport is incredible, I'm talking incredible. Like, Adi will go from heavyweight to middleweight. We might get down to welter and, bantam maybe. This guy goes all the way down to minimum and strawweight. So look, make sure you subscribe. It's a fantastic channel, so much content, and we are trying to get it to 10,000 subscribers by the summer. It's a stretch, but who knows? If you guys hit that subscribe button, it will help. Peace and love.